Y'all ready to watch another subpar Tubi movie? This one's wild. A man named Dupree Williams drinks with his friends. Later, he is arrested and is taken to the station where he finds out that his wife is already dead and he's the prime suspect. He denies killing his wife, but Detective Wright reveals that his fingerprints are all over the place, including the murder weapon. This white man's acting ain't very convincing. Then Dupree remembers who could have done it. However, with all evidence pointing to him, Dupree is later found guilty of first-degree murder. Yo, look at that judge banging with her gavel. Brooke is loved dearly by her father, so when she decides to marry Matthias, a musician, her father can't do anything, even though he doesn't really like the boy. He even gives his daughter a very expensive necklace as a gift to make her happy. When her father dies, Brooke is heartbroken, and Matthias tries to make her happy by taking her to fancy restaurants. However, Brooke always has to pay for everything because her man's broke AF. Coping has proven difficult, so Brooke starts to see a therapist named Natasha Clay. Not long after her father's death, Brooke has to attend a meeting for the reading of his will. Her father left her a substantial amount, made her a partner in his 5 businesses, and even some of his assets were liquidated and transferred to her name. Her uncle Reggie, who was also her father's attorney, looks suspiciously at Matthias because he knows the man broke as hell. Later, he tells Brooke to contact a trusted financial advisor from his firm to help her out. She's still grieving, but Matthias is already planning what to do with the money, suggesting it's time they go on a vacation that he's been promising. Boy, then use your own damn money. Da fuck. Luckily, Brooke has her best friend Kendra to rely on during these trying times. One day, she catches Matthias receiving multiple deliveries. He admits that he's been renovating his studio and that it's no big deal because they can pay for it now. He promises that his album will pay for it with interest. But Brooke doesn't believe him because he's been working on one album for 10 years, and it's still not yet done. Matthias is pushing 60, thinking he can still make it big. After this, Brooke decides to go back to work. Her boss, Michael, reminds her that she was given a 1-year break and that she shouldn't rush herself. But Brooke insists, and Michael has no choice but to take her back. However, when Brooke breaks the news to Matthias, he's very pissed, and he doesn't want her to work again. Brooke reminds Matthias that he's not making any money, and that she had to work before because they had to pay their bills. But Matthias knows that money is no longer a problem because of the inheritance, so he doesn't see the point in working anymore. Still, Brooke returns to the office. I just know she sees work as a vacation from her annoying ass man. Whenever she's feeling down, she sees Natasha, and she helps her feel better again. Back at home, Matthias tries to fix any argument by breaking his wife's back. Apparently, his D's so good since it calms her. One day, Brooke meets with Jacob, her financial advisor. Jacob reveals that a $50,000 withdrawal was made from her account, and he'd like to confirm it with her. Brooke admits it wasn't her, but also insists that there's no need to worry because she trusts her husband, and she allows him full access to all her funds. Ho, is you dumb? Later that day, Brooke is surprised when she meets Trevor again, her ex-boyfriend. This man kind of fine. He hasn't seen her in a long time, so he keeps joking just to make her laugh. He's surprised that she ended up marrying the guy she replaced him with. Trevor wants to see her again, so Brooke reminds him that she's married and instead kisses him goodbye. Girl, this finna get messy. Even though Brooke is still feeling down, Matthias suggests they throw a party and invite their closest friends. Brooke initially opposes this, but eventually agrees. A close friend named Devin brings a new girlfriend to the party, and to Brooke's surprise, it's her therapist. They are both shocked to see each other at the party, so they pretend they just met. Brooke tells Kendra the truth, then introduces her to Natasha. However, Kendra has quickly taken a dislike to the therapist and walks away from her. Devin says that Natasha was the one who approached her. Devin is disappointed that he has yet to break Natasha's back. During the party, Kendra looks at Matthias sideways when she sees Matthias approaching Natasha. I already know where this is headed. Let us know in the comments if you do too. On their next therapy session, Natasha explains that she didn't know Devin and Brooke were friends. Then she advises Brooke to keep boundaries, implying that her best friend Kendra has been taking too much interest in her life. Because of this, Brooke starts to suspect Kendra when she keeps asking questions about her marriage and her therapist. Kendra says she's just looking out for Brooke because Natasha is sussy as hell. At the office, Michael gives an important project to Brooke, and she can't wait to tell her husband. However, when she gets home, Matthias shows a photo of her kissing a man, Trevor. Brooke hides the fact that it was her ex, and she keeps saying the photo means nothing. Matthias gets angry, thinking that Brooke is trying to get back at him for cheating back then. Girl, you still took that man's back when he an unemployed, bald-headed, broke-ass loser? After Kendra hears about this, she tells Brooke to take a break away from everything. She knows losing a child, getting cheated on, and losing a father were all too much for her friend to bear. Brooke appreciates the concern and is grateful that she has Kendra and Natasha to lean on. Kendra gets pissed upon hearing Natasha's name, and she advises Brooke not to talk about her marriage to her therapist. When Brooke cancels a session, Natasha calls to check on her. Later, Jacob tells Brooke that $75,000 was taken from her account. Girl, I'd be pausing that account like yesterday. Then she receives a message from an unknown number telling her where Matthias is. Kendra is currently at a restaurant with Matthias. She confronts him about how he treats Brooke and reminds him that Brooke needs to feel safe and that he should ensure she feels that way. But Matthias is not so keen on taking advice from Kendra, given that she hasn't been a very good friend to Brooke lately. When Brooke arrives at the restaurant, it looks to her as if her husband and best friend are flirting and dating. She's heartbroken by what she discovers and decides not to come home that night. The next day, she sees Natasha and reveals what she saw the day before. So her therapist explains that Kendra might be projecting her insecurities in the form of jealousy. She implies that Kendra has been working to destroy everything that is important to Brooke. I should have known not to trust Natasha with her trifling look and ass. Because she's furious, Brooke doesn't hold back and confronts Matthias about the withdrawals from the account. Offended, Matthias says he didn't take the money and they can go to Jacob and get to the bottom of the problem. While working on an important project, Brooke remains distracted. Natasha calls her to say that Kendra called and confronted her, accusing her of manipulation. She also apparently asks the therapist to stop seeing Brooke. Brooke is ashamed by her friend's action that she apologizes and calls Kendra right away. Then she tells her best friend to stay away from her. Knowing that Natasha was behind it, Kendra wastes no time and barges into her office. She warns Natasha and tells her to stay away from Brooke and her husband. Even when confronted, Natasha stays calm and remains unbothered by Kendra's threats. Afterward, Brooke pays Jacob a visit because he keeps ignoring her calls. Jacob finally reveals that a letter with Brooke's signature was sent to Reggie, accusing him of siphoning her money. Brooke insists that she didn't write any letter and encourages Jacob to discuss the matter with her. Brooke then asks what she should do to stop her husband from stealing from her. Jacob explains that he can't deny Matthias the money because Brooke's dumbass gave him full access to it when she opened the account. So he suggests they freeze it to buy Brooke some time to restructure. He also reveals someone has been asking what the protocol is if Brooke is deemed mentally unfit. Then he says Matthias will be given the power of attorney over the whole account if it's proven. Brooke gets overwhelmed with all her problems that she misses more and more therapy sessions. Natasha keeps on checking on her, and Brooke doesn't understand why her therapist cares so much about her. Then one day she finally finds the courage to kick Matthias out of the house. Good, because man looked like little Bill all grown up. Still suspicious about Natasha, Kendra does her own investigation. She finds out that Brooke's therapist is using another doctor's name and that she was known before as Monique Haynes. And this Monique Haynes is apparently connected to a murder case. Kendra decides to make a move to save her friend. She goes to Natasha's office, sets off the fire alarm, and gets into the room when Natasha heads out. She's looking for whatever helpful file there is, not knowing that Natasha is watching her through a security camera. Then she checks the laptop and finds a sexy photo of Brooke. On the day of an important meeting with a client, Brooke receives a call from Jacob about a letter. This letter requests a hold on her account while her mental health is being questioned. Brooke puts the problem aside to focus on the presentation, but in the middle of it, her laptop starts acting up, and a racy photo of her pops up on the screen. Embarrassed, her boss tells her to take the rest of the week off. I just know all the men in that room was excited for that. As she's leaving, the secretaries be gossiping about her, but we know our girl makes more, so it's okay. As for Kendra, she calls Dupree to ask about Monique Haynes. He says he had an affair with her, and when he ended it, she threatened to kill his wife. He thought she was all talk until his wife ended up dead. When Kendra returns home, she's surprised to find Natasha eating popcorn on the couch. Natasha admits that she stabbed Dupree's wife and insists that it was the blood loss that killed her, not her. Kendra is determined to expose Natasha and put her in prison, and she's convinced she can take her. However, Natasha gets angry after being called a psycho. She takes the gun she took from Kendra's room and shoots her twice. Brooke is shocked when Detective Wright delivers the news. They don't have a suspect yet, but luckily, Kendra is alive even though she's in a critical condition. Even though they had arguments before, Brooke relies on her husband and Matthias stays to comfort her kitty cat. A few days later, Brooke finds the video that Kendra sent her the day she was shot. Kendra has also sent all the files to Brooke's email, including a photo of Monique, aka Natasha. While Brooke is at home, Matthias meets up with Natasha. He confronts her and asks if she shot Kendra. Natasha avoids the question and happily shares that she already set up a meeting with Matthias's financial advisors. Matthias is pissed because he has been trying to stop Natasha from sending out letters and making inquiries. He calls her crazy, admits he may have led her on, but insists that he would never leave his wife for her. Natasha gets angry because she believed they had something real. Then Matthias threatens to kill Natasha if she goes anywhere near Brooke again. Matthias can take his trifling broke ass elsewhere because our homegirl isn't dumb enough to take him back, is she? Meanwhile, Brooke goes to Natasha's office only to find that she's not there. Then she sends all the files from Kendra to Detective Wright. When she returns home, she finds Matthias already waiting for her. He admits he has done a lot of awful things, but insists that he did love his wife. Matthias admits that he cheated on Brooke multiple times and that he also banged Natasha's psycho brain in. He knows that he already lost all chances of saving his marriage, so he tells Brooke that he'll come back and pack his things when she's not home. He is on his way out when Natasha threatens them with a gun and traps the couple in their house. Natasha shoots Matthias multiple times before turning her attention to Brooke. Before she can even approach Brooke, Matthias trips her and she drops her gun. Brooke grabs the opportunity and uses what she learned in her boxing training. And when Natasha overpowers her, Brooke gets her hands on a knife in a toolbox and stabs Natasha. When Natasha tries to attack again, Brooke finishes the hoe off with the gun. After everything, Brooke decides to start her own architecture firm. She gets back with Trevor and fixes her relationship with her best friend. Now Brooke finally finds peace. What did y'all think about this one? It was another case of the best friend knew everything, but the bestie never listens. Who can relate to that shit in real life?
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.